Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. I am so delighted you're here with me today. Today I'm going to be talking to you about light codes or light language. Maybe you've heard of this before, and maybe you haven't. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about light codes recently because we are shifting from one energetic field to another. People are also calling this New Earth. It's really not that we're shifting to a completely new planet. It's our vibrational frequency that is shifting. And so they are calling this the New Earth because some people are not awake and they're not shifting in this vibrational frequency. And people like you are. And so this is why we sometimes feel like the people around us are not the same as us, people don't understand us, we feel like misfits, all of those things. This is why. It's because our energetic frequencies are raising while other people's are staying the same or even lowering, and so we're not on the same energetic plane anymore. A light language or light codes are your soul's language that holds your unique frequency or essence. So everyone that comes here to Earth has light codes that they use every day. So when you're speaking to people, when you're interacting, you're not just using your words, you're actually giving off energy or frequency. This is kind of like light information. And light language is a channel through which you can bring subtle information forward to your physical reality. It's also a unique form of communication. And it's a connection with your spirit and source. It's a very powerful modality for healing, for clearing, for upgrading, and for receiving spiritual guidance. There are a lot of people on YouTube who talk about these light codes, and they actually will say these light codes. The people that I have heard, it's almost like singing. It definitely sounds like someone speaking a different language. And so you can listen to it to receive activation from these light codes. There are people on YouTube who are doing that. And when you listen to it, as a person who teaches a language, it's very interesting because it doesn't sound like any language I've ever heard of before in my life. But it's really interesting. And the people who are channeling it, when you watch them, like their face changes and their voice changes, you can hear it. It's really interesting. So I would encourage you just to check that out. Like do a YouTube search for light codes and see what comes up for you. I honestly feel like sometimes we are put in the path of things we're supposed to learn. Like I was put in the path of these YouTube videos where this one particular woman was doing the light codes, and I just thought it was so interesting, and I kept going back to this place. But light language, it comes from you and through you. It comes from your higher aspects. It is incarnated in other dimensions, and depending on your heritage, the light languages can be Pleiadian, Sirian, or Arcturian. And those are a collective of multidimensional spirit beings from the Pleiades, Sirius, or Arcturus star system. It can also come from mysterious lost civilizations, such as Atlantis and such as Lemuria. That's also another really interesting point because I just listened to a video the other day that had been recorded with Dolores Cannon, and she talked about how the city of Atlantis was a real place, how people could move things with their minds and they became too powerful. It's really interesting. So if you have some free time, go to YouTube and look up Dolores Cannon, or if you're on TikTok, you can also look up Dolores Cannon and Atlantis. But these light codes and light languages combine many different languages, and they are known as the universal language of light. People from different linguistic backgrounds who hear it for the first time report that it sounds very familiar, like they're coming back home when they hear this language. When you connect to the guidance and to this really high vibration, you're opening yourself to become a channel through which you will receive and transmit light codes. And these light codes are packets of information that are transmitted through light. Since everything in the universe is made of light, you're also made of light. So the light codes are prominent aspects of your DNA. They carry and transmit these vibrational frequencies. These are encoded messages that you can access to heal your body, mind, and spirit. You can also tap into them by connecting to your light language. There are 3 forms of light language. There's spoken, signed, and written. Each form of communication utilizes a different combination of hand gestures, body language, and facial expressions. And when you go to watch the YouTube video, you'll see what I mean. She's doing hand motions and facial gestures while she's also speaking this language. Unlike any other human known language, it can't be understood consciously. It's not communicated through words that make sense, but when you hear it, it will touch your heart and you will feel the healing energy. The light code transmission is accessed through a process called downloading. So the people who are channeling it are downloading the transmission. It can come in as visuals, sounds, feelings, and thoughts. And these encoded messages can be received, and in order to transmit it, you have to be in a very deep meditative state. So the people who speak the light language are actually channeling it. They're using their voice to create frequencies that match the channel vibration. And then they transmit that energy to someone else. And again, this makes a lot more sense if you go and you search and do a YouTube search for light codes and light code activation. If you see the people who are on there doing it, it will make much more sense to you than me sitting here trying to explain to you what it looks like. But some people will channel the light languages and symbols and meanings. They believe that it's Egyptian scribes, that those represent the light language symbols. And although we can't really comprehend those consciously, your higher consciousness recognizes them. It's really an interesting thing. But what are these really used for? Why do we use these light codes and light language? Well, those who have experienced them know that we use it to connect and communicate with our guides. We all have spirit guides, and this is one way that you can connect and communicate to your guides. It's not the only way, but it is one way that you can. It also allows you to clear your energy field. So if you've been feeling a lot of blocks to success and to abundance in your life, you can clear your whole system to return it to its natural state. Because the natural state of our existence is to be abundant. And we've just learned all of these blocks to it once we've come here. But if we are in our spirit form, our true spirit form, we would know that abundance is our birthright. It's our natural state of being. It's when we come here and we learn all of these blocks to the abundance that it becomes a problem. So you can listen to these light codes in order to clear your field and clear your whole system so that you can return to this natural state of abundance. It's also a healing tool that you can use to heal yourself or whoever is listening to it. Any imbalance in your mind, body, and spirit can be perceived as a lower vibrational state. Light language is a transmission of higher vibrations that override the lower vibrations. So it can also override your negative thoughts or emotions. And this is another thing that I've heard Dolores Cannon talk about, and you can go and search this as well. But she talks about how any disease in the body, any illness in the body, comes from negative emotion that you're not letting go of. And that negative emotion causes disease in the body. So it makes sense that the negative energy and all of those negative thoughts and emotions, that's all lower vibrational frequencies. And so listening to this higher vibrational frequency cancels that out and clears it out, which is what allows you to become healed. So if you need guidance from your higher self or your spirit guides, or you want to facilitate healing or just tap into that natural state of abundance, light language is an excellent source for doing that. So if you want to learn light language, you can learn it by listening and absorbing what you're hearing. So listening to someone who is channeling it and then repeating it in your own voice. You can pronounce it or sing it or hum it, so you can repeat it yourself. But I will have to say that you don't have to. You don't have to be the one saying it or singing it or humming it or whatever. Just listening to it, merely being there and being you don't have to completely meditate, but just clearing your energy, taking a few deep breaths, grounding yourself, closing your eyes and listening to it, and just allowing it to flow into you is another way that it can help you. Just like learning a language, you have to practice it in order to be able to remember it. So if you set an intention that you want to remember this, that it's a part of your soul's language and you want to remember it, then you can also practice and meditate and try doing this language. But I would really, really like to emphasize again that you do not have to actually be speaking the language in order to benefit from it. So you can go to YouTube, you can look for the Pleiadian light codes, you can search for the Arcturian light codes. You can just try listening to the different light codes and see what you think. This is one of those things where it might be too weird or too woo for a lot of people, and that's okay too. It doesn't matter. I mean, if it's something that works for you and you try it and you like it, then that's great. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. But I just wanted to introduce you to this idea and let you know that that's another tool that's out there for you to use for healing and for getting rid of those blocks to our abundance and also getting guidance out there from our guides. Now, I wanted to pull some cards for you today from the Chakra Healing deck by Sage Goddess. And the first one that actually came out is light codes. All beings come to each lifetime with light codes they carry and transmit over the course of their lives. These multi-dimensional pieces of information and wisdom are shared without conscious communication. You are activating new light codes of healing right now, and you can use them to help yourself and others as you feel called. To understand more about these codes, go into meditation and consult your guides. Ask for clear signs, symbols, and guidance. And this has to do with the third eye chakra. And a crystal that you can use to help with the third eye is sodalite. The next card that came out is Inner Well. Tap into your well of strength and draw from your inner reservoir of divine power. You have everything you need within you, awaiting your remembrance, your exploration, excavation, and ultimately your mastery. Confidently claim this unique power and gifts in this world and ground into the truth that you are held, supported, and kept safe in the arms of a loving universe. This has to do with your root chakra, knowing that you have everything you need within you already, and it's just tapping into that. The crystal that is associated with this chakra is onyx. And then you have divine wisdom. You radiate with divine wisdom. You are a teacher to many, especially by your lived example of beauty and grace. Trust your insight and the messages your guides are sending you. By trusting your wisdom, you avoid sabotage and fear-based decisions. Allow your mind to relax and welcome a new level of consciousness. Make note of the visions and information you receive and use them to faithfully pursue the path of your highest calling. This has to do with your crown chakra, and the crystal that goes along with this crown chakra is scapolite. And lavender is also associated with this particular chakra. So if you want to put lavender essential oil on or wear lavender color, that also works. Then you have violet flame. The violet flame of spiritual protection surrounds you always. You are intimately connected with the divine. You can safely release any addictions that no longer serve you. Your angels are right here to protect you and to help you reclaim your true power. They are also here to protect you from harm. Know and feel that you are receiving and emanating the violet ray of compassion, mercy, and purification, which blesses the entire universe. This also has to do with the crown chakra, and the crystal amethyst is helpful with this, as amethyst is a very healing stone. And then the last card that came out is Divine Truth. Allow divine truth to arise within you. Feel it radiating from you, connecting you more deeply with yourself and all around you. Know that the truth you hold is meant to be shared with the world, empowered by compassion and conviction, delivered with love. Truth is a source of deep healing for you now on all levels. Alignment with your truth can manifest miracles within your body, mind, and spirit. I love that. And this has to do with the throat chakra and speaking your truth. Turquoise is the crystal that is associated with this. And that's the interesting thing about light codes as well, because light codes can help you to become a more authentic version of yourself and to help you speak your truth more clearly. So again, go and check out the light codes. Just do a YouTube search. It's really interesting. It's really beautiful to listen to them as well. And you may feel as though this is something familiar to you, or you've heard this before, or it just feels like truth to your soul because it comes from a much higher dimension. I want to pull a few more cards for you today, and I'm going to use the spellcasting deck just to give you kind of an update for what maybe you might be going through right now, what you can be looking forward to this week, just some helpful messages. And the first thing that came out from the spellcasting deck, and this deck is by Flavia Kate Peters, and this first card is trust. And the picture on the card is a woman standing on the edge, looking ahead at the light. It almost looks as though this person might be falling, like getting ready to jump or fall. And to me, I think of the trust fall when I see this card. We have to trust that the universe is always working behind the scenes on our behalf. And I know if you're like me, sometimes I tend to doubt that. And I want to try to control situations when I know I should just be letting go. And like that trust fall, letting go and just allowing the universe to catch me, because I know that the universe is always going to bring me what's for my highest good. Usually it's in divine timing. This is also about trusting yourself. We are so very intuitive by nature, but oftentimes we don't want to trust ourselves and our gut, and we end up making decisions that maybe aren't in our best interest. And it's because we went against what our intuition said, and we went against the intuitive hits that we got. So start trusting yourself more. And one of the easiest ways to start doing that is to sit in some stillness. The noise around us really affects us. And when we start going into that autopilot mode where we're just like getting up, going to work, going here, going there, it's really hard to hear that inner guidance. You really need to take some time to sit in stillness or meditate in order to really connect to your higher self and to start getting the guidance. The guidance is all around you. Your spirit guides are trying to guide you. Your angels are trying to guide you. You have your own inner guidance system, but it's really hard to see and hear those whispers and the guidance we're getting when we're not paying attention. So you need to be more fully present in each moment and take a little time to set aside in order to really get in touch with your higher self and with that intuition. The second card that came out today is closure. There may be something that is coming to an end for you in your life, whether it's a relationship or a job. It could even be the closure of a cycle. So maybe you've been in a series, like you've been in a rut, maybe you've experienced a lot of financial difficulties lately. That is all coming to an end, and there's some closure that needs to happen in your life. So know that with every ending becomes a beautiful new beginning. So even though we don't like change as humans, we are really creatures of habit, change is important because we don't want to stay stagnant. So it's important to really allow closure to come in for you to let go of things that are no longer serving you. Let it go with grace and love and allow the new and beautiful beginnings to come in. The next card you have is finding. And so this card is all about finding something that maybe was once lost to you and it finding its way back and returning. So this makes me think of what the universe is showing me an example of here was when I taught in my old school district. I applied to be the department chair and I didn't get it the first time. Someone else got it. And that person ended up leaving at the end of the year and then they offered me the position. So I didn't get it at first, but what I at first thought was lost eventually came around and came back to me. So whether you have lost something and you're asking for it to come back, it might be a physical thing, it might be a job, it might be a relationship. This could really apply to anything. This could even be about finding yourself again. But finding is all about that key word, something coming back, whether you find your true self or whether something you once thought was lost comes back to you. And it has a butterfly on the cover, and that makes me always think of transformation, which is a beautiful thing. It's painful in the beginning, but at the end, it always turns into something beautiful. And the last card you have is compassion. Give yourself and others compassion. This life is not easy. It is very difficult. And the fact that you've made it this far is amazing, and it says a lot about you. We all have our daily struggles, but the fact that you aren't giving up and the fact that you're doing the work, you really need to have compassion for yourself and give yourself some grace and think about how far you've come. Maybe you aren't where you want to be yet, but if you look at where you were 6 months ago, you are in a much better place now, or you're at least on the way to being in a much better place, because you're working on yourself and you're doing the work. So I applaud you for that. Give yourself some grace and give others in your life grace too. Think of what would love do instead of what would fear do, because fear will make us react very defensively. But when we are allowing ourselves to see things from a place of love, we get a much better result. And you feel much more inner peace than you do when you allow fear to take over. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you for being here today. Join me on Patreon. You can join for a 7-day free trial. It costs absolutely nothing to you, and you will have access to all of the content that is on my Patreon page. And I have things like videos with the guests that I've had on my show. I have extra podcast episodes each week that are only for my patrons. I also have readings, and we do live card readings each week. I'd love to have you join us there. It's absolutely free to try it. No commitment. You get 7 days. At the end of 7 days, if you don't want to continue, you can cancel it. If you want to continue it, you can stay with us. For $5 a month, you can get the extra podcast episodes and the videos of the recordings that I do with the interviews of the guests. And for $10 a month, you also get the live card reading. So that's totally up to you, but I would love to see you over there. Also, I want to introduce you to another podcast that I think that you will enjoy, The Reluctant Medium. Have you ever wondered if you have a gift? Are you curious about the strange phenomena like psychics and ghosts? Perhaps you can't figure out why you just know things. Join Maria, the host of the Reluctant Medium podcast. She's a mental health therapist who was surprised by the souls of 2 babies who spontaneously came to her. Years later, she reluctantly began training in mediumship, and she hasn't looked back since. Her curiosity for the unexplained has continued to fuel her desire to know more. Welcome to exploring the world of the weird along with the Reluctant Medium. Episodes drop weekly on Thursday mornings. You can listen to the show anywhere you can listen to podcasts, or you can go to thereluctantmedium.com. All right, guys, I hope you have a beautiful week. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon.